The Grand Galactic Council chamber stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian floor, its vaulted ceiling disappearing into artificial stars that mimicked the galaxy itself. Representatives from 247 species sat in their designated sections, their forms ranging from crystalline entities that hummed with electromagnetic frequencies to vast colonial organisms that spoke through coordinated bioluminescence. Ambassador Elena Vasquez stood at the human delegation podium, her spine straight despite the weight of exhaustion pressing against her shoulders. She had been arguing Earth's case for 6 standard hours, presenting evidence, economic projections, and diplomatic solutions to the territorial dispute in the Kepler 442 system. Behind her, the small human delegation watched in tense silence. The Xinthian High Chancellor, a creature resembling a mantis constructed from liquid mercury, raised one gleaming appendage. Its voice reverberated through the chamber's translation matrix, reaching every species in their native language. The Council recognizes the human's petition, it said, the pause before human laden with unmistakable condescension. Though we question whether such a primitive species truly comprehends the complexities of interstellar law. A ripple of sound swept through the chamber, clicks, whistles, harmonic tones, the galactic equivalent of laughter. Elena's jaw tightened, but she maintained her diplomatic composure. Lord Vexnar of the Krellian Empire rose from his seat, his 4 arms spreading wide in a gesture of theatrical dismissal. The reptilian diplomat's scales caught the light, creating rainbow patterns across his imposing 2-meter frame. "Honored delegates," Vexnar began, his voice dripping with false courtesy, "let us speak plainly. Humanity has been part of this council for merely 2 decades. 2 decades. Some of our civilizations have maintained interstellar commerce for 50,000 years, and yet these newcomers presume to claim rights to systems they can barely reach with their crude propulsion technology." The Hive Collective, speaking through their primary node, added their voice. The humans arrived in the galaxy still fighting amongst themselves. They brought their violence, their inefficiency, their chaotic governance. Perhaps they should focus on civilizing their own world before demanding seats at the table of truly advanced species. Elena felt her face flush, but before she could respond, Chancellor TRX of the Andromedean Coalition stood. The ancient being, whose species had been exploring the cosmos when humans still lived in caves, gestured dismissively with one crystalline tendril. "I propose we table the human petition indefinitely," TRX announced. "Furthermore, I suggest we reevaluate Earth's Council membership. Perhaps observer status would be more appropriate for a species of their development level." The chamber erupted in approval. Dozens of species voiced their agreement, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony that the translation matrix struggled to process. Elena stood frozen, watching 2 decades of careful diplomacy crumble in real time. "This council is adjourned," the High Chancellor declared. "The human petition is denied. Earth's membership status will be reviewed in 6 standard months." As the delegates began to disperse, some made no effort to hide their amusement. A group of Felixian traders, cat-like beings known for their cunning, actually pointed at the human delegation while chittering amongst themselves. Elena gathered her materials with mechanical precision, her diplomatic mask finally cracking. Junior Ambassador Chen approached, his young face pale with barely contained fury. "Ambassador, they can't." "They just did," Elena cut him off quietly. "Pack everything, we're leaving." The journey back to Earth took 3 weeks through the commercial transport lanes. Elena spent most of that time in her quarters, composing her report and watching the news feeds as word of the Council's mockery spread across human space. The reaction was building like a slow-burning fuse. By the time their ship entered Earth's orbit, the fuse had reached the powder keg. President Sarah Chen, no relation to the junior ambassador, sat in the Situation Room, surrounded by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the directors of every major space agency, and the CEOs of Earth's largest corporations. On the main screen, Ambassador Vasquez delivered her report with clinical precision. "They don't respect us," Alina concluded. "They never have. We were tolerated as curiosities, primitive beings who stumbled into their exclusive club. The moment we asked for actual equality, they revealed their true position. We are not their peers. We are their pets." The president leaned back in her chair, her fingers steepled beneath her chin. She was silent for a long moment, and in that silence, everyone in the room felt the temperature drop. "Show them," she said finally, her voice carrying the weight of 8 billion people's collective anger. "Show them everything." Admiral Okonkwo, the grizzled head of Space Command, allowed himself a grim smile. "Madam President, are you authorizing Protocol Prometheus?" "I am, an admiral. No half measures. If we're going to remind the galaxy what humanity is capable of, let's make sure they never forget the lesson." Across human space, the response was immediate and overwhelming. Every treaty, every trade agreement, every diplomatic understanding that Earth had painstakingly negotiated over 2 decades was dissolved simultaneously. Human ships began withdrawing from shared stations. Human scientists recalled their research from collaborative projects. Human merchants closed their ports to alien vessels. But that was only the beginning. The Kepler 442 system had been disputed territory, with 6 species claiming various rights to its resource-rich planets. When humanity pulled out of the negotiations, the other species assumed Earth had surrendered. They were wrong. 3 human colony ships, each the size of a small city, entered the system with a fleet of military escorts. But these weren't the outdated vessels the Council had seen patrolling Earth's immediate space. These were something new. The Prometheus-class dreadnoughts shimmered as they dropped out of faster-than-light travel, their hulls incorporating technology that humanity had been quietly developing for 15 years. While the galaxy had mocked them, human scientists had been working in secret, taking inspiration from 100 different alien technologies and combining them in ways no one had thought possible. Captain Marcus Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the UESN Prometheus, watching as his tactical officers' display lit up with incoming communications. "Sir, we're being hailed by everyone," Lieutenant Park reported. "The Krellians are demanding we leave. The Xinthians are threatening sanctions. The Hive Collective is calling this an act of war." "Tell them all the same thing," Marcus replied calmly. "This system is unclaimed territory under Council law, which we are no longer bound by. We're colonizing it. Any interference will be met with appropriate force." Lord Vexnar's personal flagship arrived within hours, its massive form dwarfing even the human dreadnoughts. The Krellian Lord's face appeared on every screen, his reptilian features twisted with fury. "You dare," he hissed. "You insignificant primates dare to challenge the Krellian Empire. We have crushed civilizations older than your entire species." Marcus's response was quiet, almost gentle. "Then you should have thought of that before you mocked us at the Council. Fire a ranging shot, Lieutenant." The Prometheus's main cannon spoke once. A lance of coherent energy, powered by a miniaturized fusion reactor and focused through quantum crystalline lenses, crossed the void in an instant. It struck Vexnar's flagship's shield and punched straight through it, vaporizing a section of armor plating 30 meters across. The bridge of the Krellian ship erupted in chaos. Vexnar stared at the damage display in disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. "Our shields are rated against." "Against technology from species you respect," Marcus interrupted. "You never bothered to truly assess human capabilities because you were too busy laughing at us. That was a warning shot, Lord Vexnar. The next one won't be. You have 1 hour to withdraw from this system." The Krellian flagship retreated within 30 minutes. News of the incident spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. carried by quantum entanglement communicators on every trade route. Within days, 3 more species attempted to challenge human expansion into previously disputed territories. All 3 retreated after similar demonstrations. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The atmosphere in the chamber had changed dramatically. Where there had been mockery and condescension, there was now wary respect tinged with fear. Ambassador Vasquez stood at the podium once again, but this time no one interrupted her. "Honored delegates," she began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber. "Humanity withdraws from this council effective immediately. We will establish our own territories, our own trade networks, our own alliances. Those species who wish to deal with Earth as equals, true equals, will find us fair and honorable partners. Those who wish to treat us as primitives will find us absent." The High Chancellor's mercury form rippled with agitation. "Ambassador, please, let us not be hasty. Perhaps we can renegotiate." "There is nothing to negotiate," Alina cut him off, savoring the reversal of their previous encounter. "You made your position clear. We're simply accepting it. Earth doesn't need this council, but I suspect some of you are already realizing that you needed us more than you knew." She was right. Within 3 months, 17 species had requested bilateral treaties with Earth. The human markets, human technology, and human military capabilities were too valuable to ignore. More importantly, humanity had demonstrated something that many galactic civilizations had forgotten over millennia of comfortable supremacy: the ability to adapt, to innovate, and to unite in the face of contempt. The Galactic Council never officially apologized, but 5 years later, when they sent a formal invitation for Earth to rejoin with full voting rights and no membership review, the message was clear. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity had been mocked at the Council, and in response, they had rewritten the rules of galactic civilization overnight, proving that sometimes the newest species at the table can teach the oldest ones something profound. Respect must be earned, but dignity is inherent, and those who forget that do so at their peril.